Yes.
Thanks, Charm. Hi, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you, Ready2Adult Ph, Charm, of course, and the team for having me here tonight. I'd also like to thank everybody who made time to attend this webinar tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your busy Netflix marathon schedules. I'd really like to make this webinar as interactive as possible. I don't want to bore you guys out. Nutrition can be quite technical, but tonight I also want to make it as practical as possible, the most practical as possible for you guys. So I hope you'll enjoy tonight's webinar, and good evening again. So, of course, tonight we're talking about basic nutrition. Feel free to chat up anything, any questions in the middle of the talk or whatever. I'll try to read as we go along. So just an outline of what I'll be talking about. First, I want to talk about what happened to our health, and then what should we eat? Okay, as mentioned, I really want to make this as practical as possible. So what should we eat? How much to eat? How to eat? And what is this fitness formula that we all need to know? So first, what really happened? Okay, over the years, what has been happening to our society, our lifestyle? So as you can see in this picture, in this slide, we evolved from active hunting creatures to very sedentary people, right? So what happened is, of course, there are now rising cases of obesity, right? Obesity is really becoming, or it actually is already one of the pandemic also that we are actually fighting in this generation. And what do you think is causing this? So it all really goes back to the basics, our roots. So what have we been doing or what has been going on around us? No? So instead of uh, getting food from our own backyards, gardening, probably even gardening our own food and eating fresh food off our backyards or from the fresh market, we've been eating more of samgyeopsal, Korean barbecue, and a lot of these milk teas and fast food. So I'm sure a lot of us are also keeping up with the fast-paced, hectic lifestyle. And so we tend to eat more of these convenience foods and fast food. So I'm sure everybody knows that this is really not healthy for us, although a lot of people might enjoy it. But if you really think about it, do you think your body celebrates this kind of food? So I'm sure you can also see the effects of these food on your bodies, right? And I'm sure you can feel it at some point. So I just want to talk a bit about the top 10 causes of premature death, okay? Driving disease in the past few years or lately. So this is just an infographic from healthdata.org. It's a comparison from 2007 to 2017, so that's a comparison of 10 years. Between 10 years, we see that the risk factors driving the most death and disability combined has also changed, right? We see now that in 2017, and I'm sure it still applies now, diet has now become the #1 risk factor, okay, for developing disease and eventually causing death. And a lot of the other factors listed here, we can actually see that this is really related to our lifestyle and our habits, right? So this is really something that we can think about, or we need to think about, what are we really doing with our lives? Are we really supporting our health, or are we actually driving ourselves to our graves? So we ate our way into this mess, and we can also eat our way out of it, right? As mentioned, or as what you just saw, diet is really the #1 risk factor, and ironically, this is also the most controllable factor. Okay, it's what's in our control the most. So it's actually really a matter of choice. So I want to ask everyone, what is food to you? Can somebody answer the chat? Can I hear from you guys? What is food to you? So Dawn said it's basically a need. Jet said it's source of nourishment. Alex said it's one of the main sources of energy. Jeremiah said it's food is life. Yes. Maki said it's a source of energy. Thank you guys for your answers. Michael David Lopez said it's fuel. So a lot of us, I see that a lot of us actually look at food more as a source of energy, as fuel, which is really our common idea about food, how we see food. But someone also mentioned it's nourishment, right? And we need it. So thank you, Jet, for your answer. That's also correct. And it's a very important answer. That's really more substantial. No, so that's how I want all of us to see or to look at food as well, that it's not actually just energy, but real food should actually nourish our bodies. So we have the responsibility of feeding ourselves the right things. So not all food is actually nourishing to our bodies, right? We know that. And there are food that are edible, but they're not nutritious, right? So I just call them edibles. They can be eaten, but they don't give nourishment to our bodies. So it actually doesn't fall into the right definition of what food is, because real food is supposed to nourish our bodies. So, right, everybody answered. Food is, first of all, it's energy. Of course, we need it to survive. We need it to work, for us to work, to do activities and all. But that is not the only function of food in our bodies. So food is actually also information. Okay, so studies now show that food actually talks to our genes. And I know a lot of us here have heard that if we have diseases that run in our family, diseases that run in the blood, right? You'd think that you're most likely going to have it also. So with that kind of mindset as well, a lot of people tend to take it for granted, or they use it as an excuse to just live irresponsibly, eat irresponsibly, because they think, I'm just gonna get that disease anyway, whether I eat healthy or not, since it's in my genes. But no, it's actually, what we know now is actually that genes load the gun, but diet and environment pulls the trigger. So it's actually what we expose ourselves to, the environment that we expose ourselves to, the food that we feed ourselves with, that actually determines our health. Now, genes don't determine our destiny anymore. It's actually what we expose ourselves to, what we feed ourselves with. So there is actually a food-gene interaction. And the study of this is called nutrigenomics and epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of the environment and how it interacts with our genes, or how it affects our genes. So with food, I want you guys to know this, because this shows how powerful food actually is. It has the power to switch on or switch off the genes that can either promote health or promote disease. So food is actually either cure or poison. It's really our choice. No, it's really about what kind of food that we choose for ourselves. So food is also connection, right? Everybody likes sharing food with someone, sharing a meal with someone, and food brings all of us together. Food is a universal language. Everybody eats, and everybody, well, most people like to eat or love to eat. So food brings people together, and social connection is actually also a basic need in our lives, right? If you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, belongingness is one of our basic needs. So along with food, food also helps create social connection, which is really good for our health. Because according to this infographic, it supports our immune system, it helps boost our mood, it supports our emotional health as well, okay? And of course, our mental health. So it lowers rates of anxiety and depression. And yeah, it's really part of our well-being. Social connection is part of our well-being, and food has a lot to do with that. And lastly, but most importantly, food is medicine. So we really shouldn't rely on pills or medications for better health, right? Actually, food is so powerful that, and it's also the most recognized by our body. So the more natural, the better. Because if you take supplements, these supplements are just supplements. So they're not meant to be our main source of nutrients. And actually these supplements are artificial, right? They're synthetic. So it's not as absorbed as well by our bodies, unlike natural food. So it's really important for us to choose real food as much as possible when we want to get our nutrients. So feel free to ask questions anytime, okay? You guys can just chat it in the chat box. So I hope you guys got this. Food is energy, information, connection, and medicine. It's more than just energy. So what do you guys think about this car? Who are car lovers out there? Hi, Paolo. Wait, I don't know. Oh, this is Paolo Aguirre. Okay. What do you guys think about this car? It's shiny, it's nice, it's modern.
I love cars.
Oh, you love cars. Thank you. Who doesn't love cars, right? Who wouldn't love to have a car? So yeah, it's expensive. So I want all of us here. All right, I'll answer your question later, Dawn. Thanks for your question. So I want all of us here to think of this car, this luxurious car, as our bodies. If your body was a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Porsche, or your dream Louis Vuitton bag, your dream house, whatever, if it's the most valuable thing to you, or like this expensive car, would you feed it cheap gas, right? Of course not. So of course you want to give it the best, you want to take care of it. So this is something we have to remember, that our bodies, the bodies that we have now, it's the only one that we have in this life. And where we have the responsibility to take care of it. Because you can't buy another body. If something goes wrong with your body, you can't buy a replacement no matter how rich you are. Just transplants, but transplants, there are also failed transplants, diba? So take care of your bodies the best way you can. So just a quick definition about nutrition. If you guys still didn't really get what nutrition is, I was just talking about how we all should look at food. So nutrition is the intake of food considered in relation to the body's dietary needs. So nutrition is, okay, it's about the food that we eat and how it affects our health, basically. And diet actually means the kinds of food that a person, animal, or community habitually eats. So technically, all of us are actually on a diet. It's just a matter of what kind of diet are you on? Are you on a healthy diet or are you on an unhealthy diet? Okay, so everybody's on a diet. So it's not actually that correct or that right to say I'm on a diet because everybody's technically on a diet. So let me ask you, what's on your plate? Usually, what do you have for your meals? Does it look more like the one on the left or the one on the right? Wow, the right. You answered the
Yeah.
right. A little bit of both. What did you guys have for dinner tonight?
The right.
The right. Hi, RX.
Si Paolo to story
Bibimbap.
actually.
If today's dinner it's left. Right. Okay. So some had a meal, last meal today, look more like the right, and the other is more like the left. Others are honest. None of the two. Curried vegetables. Wow, Hannah, that's very healthy. That's really good. Can I ask everybody to mute lang muna? I mean, can you mute lang so we don't get feedback? Okay. Liempo, ribs and potato. Sounds pretty substantial. Sinugbang isda. That's inihaw na isda. Okay. For the Tagalogs here, I will try to translate. All right, so thank you for your answers, guys. Thanks for being honest. Tonight I had pizza. That's a treat, but it's technically a complete meal. Just, have it in moderation. Don't eat the whole pizza. So I asked you guys what's on your plate because now I'm going to teach you actually the most practical way to know how to eat every meal. We want to know what we should have on our plate, diba? That's really what we want to know when it comes to nutrition. So I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with this. This is called the Pinggang Pinoy, or basically the healthy plate model for Filipinos. So this is really the most practical way for us to remember how to eat every meal. So let's start with the glow food. So if you can observe from this picture, okay, from this model, this plate model, there are 3 food groups. Okay, we have the go, grow, and glow foods. And we also have partitions on the plate. Okay, we have sections on the plate. So this is how it's going to guide us. So let's start with the glow foods. As you can see, it's actually half of the plate. Okay, so it's hindi rice. It's not rice that's supposed to be half of our plate as most Filipinos eat, but it should actually be from vegetables. Why? So vegetables are our glow foods, and they're called so because they make us glow. They make us pretty, they make us handsome. It's really the most natural anti-aging food that we can eat. And a lot of people actually tend to forget that this group is also carbs. Our fruits and vegetables are actually also carbs, but they're the most important carbs because this is where we get most of our nutrients, our vitamins, minerals, and even fiber, and these powerful chemicals called phytochemicals or phytonutrients, which are antioxidants for our bodies. So the glow foods, okay, are fruits and vegetables. There's actually a purpose why God created them in different colors. So now we actually have to think of them by color, and we have to eat the rainbow. So if you know about, if you know the rainbow, diba? The rainbow has several colors, a lot of colors. Basically, we have to eat as colorful as possible every meal. All right. So it really helps if we eat mixed vegetable dishes. Like somebody who answered, you had buttered veggies, you had curried vegetables. Those are really good choices for your meals. So we have to eat as colorful as possible because, as mentioned, each our fruits and vegetables are made in different colors for a purpose. So the color of the fruit and vegetable actually represents a specific antioxidant. So if you remember lycopene, who remembers lycopene here? Can somebody answer the chat? What's lycopene, or where is it found? Prepared ba kayo sa test, sa exam? Tomatoes, yes, very good. Pong answered. Maki, Van, Jeremiah, Fritzy, Del Monte, yes. Del Monte ang nagpasikat ng lycopene, healthy for the heart, good for the heart. So these are found naturally in tomatoes, and it's actually what makes tomatoes red. So it's the same antioxidant that you can find also in red watermelon and other red fruits and vegetables. So great, you guys knew that. And there are a lot of other antioxidants in other fruits and vegetables with different colors. So each color is really significant. And these antioxidants, these phytonutrients, are found in the skin and the seeds of our fruits and vegetables. So as much as possible, if possible, we have to eat our fruits and vegetables with the skin. You can do that, diba, with potatoes, sweet potatoes. You can do it with eggplant. Any fruit and vegetable that you think has edible skin, try to eat that as well, because that's really where we get the nutrients. So we have to eat the rainbow, and we have to eat, that means that we have to eat at least 5 different colors every day. Okay, so you can think of it as like, okay, if I had red and yellow vegetables for lunch, I can have green and red for dinner, or green and purple for dinner. Okay. Yes, there are still vitamins even when there are still nutrients in the fruit and vegetable even when you peel them. Of course, there's still fiber, there's the vitamins and minerals, it's the antioxidants that are usually found in the skin, okay, that you get to remove. But still, of course, these are still the most nutrient-dense food that you can get. So think of your fruits and vegetables by color. So a practical tip would be, if you're ordering your fruits and vegetables online, for delivery, your groceries for delivery, or you're going to the market, choose at least 5 different colors of vegetables for the week. That's very minimal, 5, because I think basic is your garlic, onions, diba? So just that means 3 other vegetables. But you can have more, of course. So try to choose at least 5 different colors of vegetables for the week, and 2 to 3 different kinds of fruits for the week. So this makes sure that you get a variety of nutrients, a variety of fruits and vegetables for the week. So it's not good to eat the same thing over and over again, because you're not going to get that variety of nutrients that you need for the day. So we want diversity as much as possible. And also, the function of these glow foods, diba, aside from making us pretty and handsome, and it's for anti-aging, it's actually also very low calorie. So this is actually the food that we can have as much as we want. It's unlimited. So it's not rice that's unlimited. It's supposed to be vegetables. So usually what I advise is, when you feel like eating extra rice, an extra cup of rice, have an extra serving of vegetables instead, because it's lower in calories, it has less calories, but it has way more nutrients than rice. So definitely this is the better choice, diba? And Also, it has fiber. So I didn't mention it here in the slide, but fruits and vegetables is also where we get most of our fiber. And fiber helps to lower cholesterol. A lot of us, even while we are still young adults, a lot of us here, maybe some of us here, already have high cholesterol or high LDL, the bad cholesterol in our body. So we really need to eat more vegetables, okay, to help lower cholesterol through the fiber that we eat and the nutrients together with it. And fruits, the GLOW foods or fruits and vegetables also have a function in energy metabolism. So basically, it's really what our cells need to function. And of course, our cells are the basic structure of our bodies, right? So let's move on to Go Foods. This is our energy food. So it's called Go Food because it gives us energy to work or to play or whatever. So Go Foods are our energy food, and these are also called our starchy carbs. Okay, so our starchy carbs examples are rice, grains like wheat or even oatmeal, quinoa, couscous, bread, root crops or starchy vegetables like kamote, potatoes, squash even, and gabi. So whatever you had in your binignit or in your ginataang bilo-bilo, you have your root crops there. And noodles or pasta, these are all our starchy carb choices. But when it comes to our starchy carbs, of course, this is our main source of energy. We have to always choose whole grains as much as possible. So whole grains are unrefined or unpolished grains. These are our brown rice, red rice, black rice, or for oatmeal, please try to avoid instant or quick cooking oats because they have the least amount of fiber. And of course, you want fiber because it helps you to feel full longer, and it also helps to lower cholesterol. So choose whole grains. So when it comes to oatmeal, choose your whole rolled oats or old-fashioned oats. And if possible, you can also choose whole wheat pasta. I think there are choices for that now in the grocery. But, to be economical, since we're in quarantine now and a lot of us might not be working or earning for the meantime, of course, we have to be practical. And healthy doesn't have to mean that, our food is expensive. We can actually choose corn or kamote or, the things that are more available. And if you can't have brown rice, it's fine. You can still eat white rice. It's not evil. You just really have to moderate your portions. So thank you for some of the questions. I will answer them at the end of the presentation or at the end of the talk. Yes, kamote is cheap and yummy. I love kamote, but not kamote Q, guys. Kamote Q is, of course, high in sugar and fat, so it's a treat. You can have it, but try to have it just once a week or treat it as a treat meal. Can't have it every day. Like a lot of people tend to have it as a snack after school or after work. That's not good. So next, our grow foods. What are our grow foods? Our grow foods are our protein food. Okay, they're protein. So we have to actually remember that we have two sources of protein. We have animal protein and we have plant-based protein. So I'm sure, I guess most of us here are animal protein eaters, especially the guys. Guys are mostly known to be meat eaters, diba? So they actually tend to be the ones who eat too much of this, which actually causes high uric acid, and it leads to gout or gouty arthritis. So that's why most guys tend to suffer from this condition, which is really caused by what you eat, right? It's eating too much red meat. It's not from eating too much peanuts or munggo. It's actually more from red meat. Yes, Jet. So steak lovers out there, you will know later. I will discuss later how much you should eat lang. So you can, of course, still have your red meat, but choose the leaner cuts. Sorry, no rib eye. Choose your tenderloin, your sirloin. So again, we just really have to know the portions, how much we can eat. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's not allowed, or if it's something that we want less in our diet, I'll call it as a treat meal. So you can still have it as a treat. So we need to live a little, diba? Once a night na lang. Okay, so um it depends on your goals, no? If you have a goal of aging faster, then you want to eat more red meat and fat. So congratulations. So going back, our grow foods are our protein, right? Again, we have animal and plant sources. And of course, they're called grow foods because they help build and repair muscles and tissues. And their protein is actually a big part of our immune system. Our blood is made up of protein. Our antibodies, our immune system is made up of protein, as well as enzymes that help with our digestion. So protein is really important, but we just need to eat enough of it because too much can hurt your kidney, right? Because this is the only food group that produces waste products that our kidneys have to process and remove from our bodies through urine. So that's why now if you eat too much red meat, it can cause high uric acid because your kidneys can't keep up anymore. You're eating too much, so you're overworking your kidneys, and it can't remove all the waste products as efficiently. It can't keep up. So that's why it's going to uh, remain in your bodies, no, and cause high uric acid or gout. And in the long term, oatmeal and mungo, yes. So there are plant-based protein that can also contribute to gout, but that's only if your uric acid is already high and already. If you already have elevated uric acid and you still eat a lot of red meat plus the oatmeal and mungo, then it will also influence your uric acid levels. But again, these plant-based sources don't cause gout. It's really from eating mostly red meat. And of course, we shouldn't forget to drink enough water. But before that, let me just go back to the fruits. So I know we normally we don't put fruit on our plate unless it's in a salad or what, but usually, diba, we have fruits as dessert or snack. So definitely you can have your fruit after your meal, or if you're having it as a snack, it's still carbs, diba? So you actually have to pair it with a protein when you're having it as a snack. So pair your fruits with like yogurt or a handful of nuts or peanut butter. You can eat banana with peanut butter, right? Or you could put it in a sandwich, peanut butter and banana sandwich. You can have it as an oatmeal, as a pancake, or just by itself, just banana and peanut butter. It's still good. So just remember to have protein with your fruits if you're having it as a snack. Some people, they're gonna go on a diet and they're just gonna eat fruits for dinner, right? Because it's light down, it's healthy. But if you're just eating fruits, it's all just carbs. So you're still going to get hungry pretty quickly. And because it's going to be processed easily by your body. And it's also naturally sweet. It's made naturally sweet. So this should be our first choice of sweets. So every time you're craving for sweets, it would be best if you have fruits on hand or look for fruits. I've been a big fan of Thirsty's fresh fruit salad for the longest time because I was so happy that somebody's offering that in the mall before, the sliced fresh fruits were a thing in the supermarket. So Thirsty also serves it with yogurt. So yeah, it's really good to choose fruits first of all as dessert instead of cakes, cookies, or milk tea. So again, you want the best investment for your health, which is whatever can give you the most nutrients. So again, we shouldn't forget to drink enough water every day. May I ask everybody, how many glasses of water do you usually drink in a day? How many glasses of water do you usually drink? Let's drink some now. 7 to 9. Charm. Alex, 5 to 8. Joms, mga 10. Dawn, usually around 2 to 3 liters a day. Pong, 6 to 8. Cheers. Van, 10. Hannah, 3 liters. Dawn, I measure using liters. That's good. Maki, 5. Paolo, 15. Miat, 1 to 2 liters. Nalgene bottle. Maki, 5 to 9. Nino, 1 to 2 liters on a normal day. 3 if good day. Ria, 8. Jay, sa init ngayon parang unlimited. Yes, that's so true. It's been so hot lately. So actually, on average, in general, we're supposed to have at least 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. So for those who answered at least 8, congrats. You're drinking the minimum amount that we need in a day. But since it's been really hot lately, it's summer already, we need to drink more, like 10 to 12 glasses a day probably would be our average, recommended average for this kind of weather. But if you really want to compute it in general, you can multiply your weight in kilograms by 40. That would be how much water you would need. So if you're 50 kilograms times 40 ml, then you get 2,000 ml in a day, or 2 liters a day, right? So it really depends on your weight as well. But in general, we really need to drink in this weather at least 10 to 12 glasses a day. That's around 1.5 to almost 2 liters a day. Of course, for athletes or for people who sweat more, if you tend to be a sweaty person or you work out a lot, definitely you need more water. So water is really important because our bodies are made up mostly of water. It's composed of at least 60% water, and especially our vital organs are made up mostly of water. So if we're dehydrated, we tend to get headaches or migraine. And a lot of people mistake this as hunger. So, masakit na ulo ko, I'm so hungry, but actually you're just thirsty because you didn't actually drink enough water. So try drinking water first if you get a headache, and you might just realize that, oh, you were just thirsty after all, you were just dehydrated. So of course, a lot of our vital organs are made up mostly of water, and our kidney especially needs enough water for it to make urine so it can remove the wastes from our bodies. So don't hold in your urine, guys. You need to urinate as often as possible because that's our body's natural detox process. It's urinating, it's sweating, yeah, pooping, right? So we need to support our natural detox processes in our bodies. So you are what you eat. If you eat mostly ice cream, then of course you're going to be ice cream. You're going to be diabetic. If you eat lechon or adobo, then you are lechon and adobo. So you are what you eat. And if you really think about it, you know, the nutrients that we get from our food, or the nutrients that our food are made up of, are actually also the same as what our bodies are made up of. Our bones are made of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, right? And these are what we are replenishing or refueling ourselves with when we eat the right kind of food. So choose wisely. Ask why healthy food is so, don't ask why healthy food is so expensive. Ask why junk food is so cheap. Okay, makes you wonder what's really in the junk food. Why is it so cheap and so available? And it doesn't, it takes so long for it to expire. Diba? If it takes long to expire, how much more in your bodies? And that's scary. So I want to leave this quote with you guys. The most important decisions we make each day are at the tip of our fork. So remember, you make that decision at least 3 times a day if you eat 3 times a day. And each meal matters. So again, what group of food is this? Just to recall. Glow foods, yes, Charm. Very good, guys. You're listening, you're awake. Glow foods are our most important carbs. Yes, don't miss out on this. And this is what we can have in unlimited amounts as long as it's cooked the right way. All right, so of course, we don't mean crispy kangkong or tortang talong or vegetable tempura. That's not what we're talking about here, na unlimited. We have to choose food that's prepared also in healthier cooking methods, like steam, especially steamed vegetables are the best. They keep the most nutrients. But other cooking methods are still fine, like sauteed or roasted or grilled or baked. Yeah. Stewed. Utan Bisaya. Yes, that's one of my favorites. How about for this food group? This is our grow foods or protein. Yes, thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Ninya. You got it right. Yes, pasado lahat. So grow foods are protein. And again, we have 2 choices. We have animal protein and we have plant-based protein. So when it comes to animal protein, we need to choose more of chicken or fish because these are white meat or they have less fat compared to red meat. So Jet, red meat is life, but white meat is lifer. So choose chicken and fish more often than red meat. If you have to have red meat, always trim the visible fats. So the fat from rib eye, how can you trim away the fat from rib eye? It's marbling, diba? So trim away the fat, especially for adobo or humba. And also, we're actually now encouraged to have like or to choose plant-based protein in at least 1 meal a day or in a week. Like you could have meatless Monday. You could do 1 day in a week that's all plant-based. Just so you can reduce your intake of animal fat because, or animal meat, because animal protein, or especially the red meat, they're known to contribute to the development of cancer and other diseases. So we want to minimize our intake of animal meat. Yes, pescatarian diet is, of course, fish and vegetables. Or fish is the only animal protein that you would eat. That's probably the furthest I can go. I don't think I can go vegan because I do still love steak. But if I can't have meat, then I have to have my seafood and fish. So pescatarian would be the strictest diet I can go on. And for this food group, this is of course our, sorry, it's pixelated. This is our, what is this? It's our go foods or our starchy carbs. Stop food. Stop eating refined grains like our white bread or white rice. So try to choose whole grains as much as possible. You want the fiber in there to help keep you full. And it definitely has more nutrients as well because it's unpolished or unrefined, meaning the bran is still whole, okay? Unless you have gluten intolerance, then you'd have to avoid wheat products and even rye, barley, and spelt, yes. But even with people who are gluten intolerant, they can still have healthy starchy carb choices like kamote or quinoa if you're social. Fruits, yes, but fruits aren't starchy carbs. Fruits is definitely the #1 choice of dessert for all of us, not milk tea. So now that you guys know what you should have on your plate, how your meals should look like, no, every meal. So now you know what to eat. Now it's time for us to know how much we can eat. So I don't really talk about calorie counting, although you'll see calories later, but that's just for reference. But I don't really talk about calorie counting because I don't want to stress everybody out. I know tomorrow's about personal finance. We all need that by charm. We need to learn our, math. So, but I don't want to stress everybody out with numbers. So I actually prefer to teach people how to estimate the portions of their food instead of counting calories. So just leave the calorie counting to us, dietitians. We'll take care of that for you so we can make sure that you're still eating enough. Okay, it's not about eating less. It's still about making sure that you still get enough nutrients and energy that you need every day. So we can actually just use our hands to estimate the portion of our food. All right, so let's start with vegetables. So again, vegetables are the lowest calorie food that we can have, and we can have as much of it as we want as long as it's cooked the right way. So 1 serving of vegetables, if it's cooked, is actually 1/2 cup or 1 handful. So imagine, that's your typical serving in a carinderia, from the carinderia, right? Or in a restaurant, it's a side dish lang. So that's 1 serving, and that's equivalent to 16 calories. And if it's a salad or raw, it's 2 handfuls or 1 cup, right? So again, even just looking at that serving, it's just a side salad in restaurants. So a bigger serving would be better. So that's just a minimum. And then for starchy carbs or rice, our favorite, for rice, 1 serving is actually 1/2 cup. So just to make it easy to remember, you can actually think of 1 cup as 1 fist size. So 1 cup is the size of your fist, and that's equivalent to 2 servings. So instead of 100 calories here, it's 200 calories for 1 cup or 1 fist size. So I suggest everybody just have up to 1 cup per meal. All right, and if you can, choose brown rice, red rice, or black rice as much as possible. However, for noodles, 1 serving is 1 cup or fist size. And I know Filipinos tend to eat rice with pancit or pancit with bread. So it's double carbs already. If that's the case, if you really want to eat that way, try to eat 1/2 serving from each kind of starchy carb. Right, if you want to make your life complicated. But if you can, just choose 1 choice na lang so it's easier. And also 1 cup of rice or 1 fist size is equivalent to 2 slices of gardenia sliced bread or 2 pieces of pan de Manila pandesal because it's quite big, right? But that's our usual serving now. But if it's just the smaller pandesal, you can have 3 pieces. That's 1 serving. So again, 1 cup of rice or 1 fist size is 2 servings, and that's equivalent to 2 slices of gardenia sliced bread. And 1 fist size or 1 cup of rice is equivalent to 200 calories. Then for fruits, 1 serving of a whole fruit is also a fist size or 1 cup. Or if it's sliced, it's 2 handfuls. So that's for grapes, lanzones, or if any sliced fruit, whatever can fit, 2 handfuls is equivalent to a cup or 1 serving of fruit. And also, since fruits are still sweet, right? They have fructose, that's their sugar. We're supposed to also limit our fruits to just 3 servings a day. So you can have 3 fist-sized fruits in a day. That's already enough for your sweets. Or 3 handfuls are equivalent to 3 cups. That's the most we can have in a day. And then for protein, for meat, fish, or chicken, 1 serving is actually just this part of our palm. But to make it easy to remember, we can eat palm size every meal, and that's equivalent to more or less 3 servings. All right, so we can have 3 servings of meat per meal. So it's the same size as our palm, of course, without the fingers. So palm size, same thickness as our palm. If you want to know it in grams, it's around 85 grams cooked. Okay, no to only wings. So if you want to be a chicken wing and fly away, eat only wings. Yeah, so for wings, I think 2 pieces would be equivalent to palm size. And you know naman that wings are not actually the healthiest part of the chicken. It has a lot of skin on it. So skin, of course, is fat. And then, so going back, starchy carbs, our favorite only rice. What is 2 servings of rice equivalent to sa hands? It's 1 fist size is equivalent to 1 cup of rice or 2 slices of gardenia sliced bread or 200 calories, yes. And you can check that in the nutrition facts of the gardenia sliced bread packaging. You check the calories. More or less, it's 1 slice is around 100 to 100 plus calories. So that's why 2 slices is already around 200 calories. So good luck to those who can finish the whole loaf in 1 sitting. And then for protein, how much should we have every meal? A palm size, yes, very good. So that's just in general, okay, guys. I mean, of course, it's different for everybody. The dietitian has to compute how much protein you actually need in a day, but that's just a general recommendation. It's about a palm size every meal. And if it's the plant-based protein, by the way, like mungo or chickpeas or green beans, string beans, those things, it's 1/2 cup cooked. Okay, and for vegetables, 1 serving of cooked vegetables is 1 serving of cooked vegetables is a handful. And if it's salad, it's 2 handfuls or 1 cup. Great. And for fruits, 1 serving is a fist for whole fruits or 2 cupped hands for sliced fruits or the small fruits like grapes, lanzones, rambutan, those things. So this is just to summarize the food groups, the food groups that we have: vegetables, fruits, starchy carbs, protein. What are their 1 serving equivalents? You could take a screenshot if you want. And just to see pound for pound how much calories they are per gram, you can see that carbs and protein have the same amount of calories per gram, but fat has more than twice the amount of calories per gram. That's why even if we still need healthy fat, like olive oil, avocado, our nuts and seeds, we still have to have them in moderation. Okay, because they're still high in calories, and if we eat too much, especially with nuts, right? Some of us here probably enjoy nuts too much. You get to finish the whole pack. That's going to add up in your total caloric intake. So just to give an example, all right, if a person needs 1,800 calories a day, I just put here for fruits, you need at least, for vegetables, you need at least 5 servings a day. That's very minimal. Actually, we need 10 in a day of cooked vegetables, or 5 for raw vegetables, 5 servings, so that's 5 cups, right? So that's why it would actually be better to have fist-size serving of vegetables per meal. So that's 2 servings of cooked vegetables already. So if you have that every meal or 3 meals a day, then you have 6 servings of vegetables a day. And then for fruits, you can have 2 to 3 servings a day. Remember, we can only have up to 3 servings of fruits in a day. So if you think about it, juices or smoothies, they tend to have your whole day's needs already. But still, it would be best to eat the whole fruit, okay, or to eat fruits rather than to juice them or have them in smoothies. Smoothies would be better than juices because the smoothies still have the skin or the fiber. Unlike juicing, it actually removes the fiber, so you actually get hungry easily if you just have juice. And you're not supposed to have it as a meal. You're supposed to have it as part of your meal. Okay, if you just really want to enjoy drinking something sweet but natural, so from fruits. Then for starch, if you need 1,800 calories a day, you can have up to 8 servings a day, or that's equivalent to 4 cups of rice, because diba 1 cup of rice is 2 servings. So that's around 4 cups of rice, or you can have like 3 cups of rice and then a sandwich for snacks. That's how it would look like, how 8 servings would look like. And then for protein, you can have 9 servings. And remember, one palm size is equivalent to 3 servings, or 85 grams. So if you can have 9 servings a day, that's around 3 palm size, or 1 palm size per meal. And then for healthy fat, here, cooking oil, 1 serving is 1 teaspoon or 5 ml, or 1 tablespoon is equivalent to 15 ml or 3 teaspoons. So if you think of this fat serving here as just your cooking oil, so if you can have, let's say, 6 servings a day, that's equivalent to 2 tablespoons of cooking oil for the whole day. So if you think about that, you can't actually have more than, you can't actually deep fry anything with 2 tablespoons of oil, right? So that's why we actually need to, it's really important to cook or choose our food that's prepared in healthier cooking methods, like steamed, stewed, like caldereta, menudo, things like that, or adobo, as long as it's lean cuts, or if it's baked or roasted or grilled. Air fryer, okay, first of all, the thing about deep fried food, which is the only food that we should really avoid the most, is because aside from it actually having a lot of fat, because it absorbs a lot of fat when it's being cooked, the more important thing about it is it's actually carcinogenic or cancer promoting in our bodies, because of the fact that the oil is heated to a very high temperature, changing its chemical structure and making it cancerous to our bodies. It produces a substance called acrolein or acrylamide, which is cancer promoting in our bodies. So that's what's really bad about these deep fried food, like French fries, and especially your street food, or even banana Q and kamote Q, they're deep fried, diba? So yeah, it's really something to think about. If you don't want cancer. You don't want to eat these kinds of food so much. If you really want it as a treat, like ginabot for the Cebuanos here, I do still eat ginabot, but like once in a blue moon, like once a month, or once a month is a lot already. Okay. Air frying. Air frying is still actually heating the food to a very high temperature, although it uses the food's moisture to cook it. So if you also cook the food at a very high temperature, of course, it can affect the nutritional content of the food or the nutrients in that food. So some of the nutrients would definitely be destroyed, especially vitamin C. So vitamin C is destroyed at boiling temperature. That's why you shouldn't have hot calamansi with like boiling water. You should have it below boiling point or below the boiling temperature if you want warm calamansi juice. So I hope you guys got this, the summary of like what is one serving for each food group and estimated number of calories per serving. So Ray was asking earlier, how many calories should a person have in a day? Of course, it's different for guys and girls, or even different for everybody. There are factors to consider, like your gender, your height, your physical activity, your lifestyle, of course. So, but in general, females need between 1,500 to 1,800 calories a day. And males need 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. Some guys, taller guys, would need more than 2,000 calories a day. So again, you need a dietitian to compute this for you. Would be better to ask a dietitian. So these are also the main principles of a healthy diet that we have to remember. So you can remember the mnemonic or the acronym MOVABA. So MOVABA stands for moderation, variety, balance, and adequacy. So you have to remember, actually the Pinggang Pinoy or the healthy food plate model helps us to practice these principles because now that you know how much food you should have every meal using the hand portion guide, you can practice moderation. We practice variety by making sure that we eat as much color as possible, right? And we also vary our choices, even for starchy carbs. Don't have just rice all the time. You can also have kamote sometimes. You can have noodles or pasta sometimes. You can have other grains, oatmeal, right? Variety is really important so we get a variety or a diversity of nutrients in our diet or in our bodies. Balance. Balance is making sure that all the three food groups are present every meal, right? Our go, grow, and glow foods. So we need to eat a balanced meal. And adequacy, we have to make sure that we're eating enough. So of course, we shouldn't be skipping meals because skipping meals would mean that we'd get hungry, right? So usually people who skip meals, they get very hungry and they tend to bawi in the next meal. So you tend to overeat in the next meal. And skipping meals can also slow down your metabolism, which you don't want. So, of course, slowing down your metabolism means you're burning less calories. So if you want to lose weight, you don't want to do that. So it's actually important for us to eat regularly at regular times. It would be best to eat every 3 to 4 hours. We shouldn't wait to get hungry before we eat because the point is when we get hungry, we can't really think properly, right? We can't really make good choices. So it's the best thing really is to plan our choices, plan our meals on what we're going to have in the next meal or for the whole week, right? So we can avoid making bad food choices. So now that you know what to eat, how much to eat, I also want to emphasize on how we should eat, especially during this time of quarantine. So I think, that even if some of us may not be working or earning anything for the meantime. It's actually also a welcome break from, the hectic life. And we should really take this opportunity to focus on building healthy habits and really taking care of ourselves. So hopefully when things get better, when the quarantine is lifted, we're already ready. We're ready with our healthy habits and we are able to take care of ourselves better. So has anyone heard about mindful eating? Has anyone heard about mindful eating here? Nope. Mindful eating. What do you think this is? Is this like thinking about food all the time? I used to be like that. Like, even if I'm full from lunch or whatever, I'm already thinking about snacks or what to have for snacks. Like, I'd really want to eat this for snacks, something like that. I used to eat a lot. So you can actually see in my Facebook profile, I still put my picture there when I was really overweight because I used to eat a lot. And I still love to eat, but now I'm able to moderate my portions already. I don't get to binge anymore. Okay, so mindful eating is actually eating with intention and attention. Are you actually paying attention to the food that you're eating? Right? So it's basically an increased awareness to food. So being healthy or healthy eating really has a lot to do with our relationship with food, how we see food. That's why I started out with that in this talk. It's really about our relationship with food and with our bodies. So mindful eating is basically taking it slow. Take it slow, chew more, sit at a table, take a breath, eat on a plate. All right, so it's slowing down and really paying attention to your food. And remember when I asked what's on your plate, usually when we eat, it's either because we're really hungry or we just feel like eating, right? A lot of us tend to also stress eat, and that's emotional eating. But there is actually a difference between hunger and appetite. So hunger is, of course, our natural response, to our body's need, which is of course triggered by our body's physical cues. Okay, so we really need to eat because we need the food, and it's influenced by hormones. So it's a natural reaction by the body. But appetite is just a desire to eat. It's influenced by external factors like sensory stimulations, external stimulations. So in more detail, comparison between hunger and appetite. Okay, I'm sure you guys can read this, but basically, hunger comes naturally without outside influences. I know usually we tend to think that we can't wait to eat when we're very hungry, but actually the natural response would actually be to wait until food is available. But with appetite is really more of cravings. And you know that we don't ever crave for healthy food. Our cravings tend to be salty, sweet, fatty food. And this is definitely not something that our body needs. But cravings are triggered by external factors or sensory cues like posters or whatever we see on social media, right? Na, oh, this pizza looks so good, or this dessert looks so good. The cookies look so good. I can also smell it from my screen, right? Or from commercials. So with appetite or cravings, it can be there even if we're full, even if we're not hungry. You just want to eat. And more often than not, you tend to eat too much, or you tend to eat more than expected. Because of course you're still full. You don't really need to eat but you just want to eat something, then obviously you're eating more than what you need already. So yeah, basically, I just want you to know that there's a difference between hunger and appetite, and we just need to be more aware of it. So the benefits of mindful eating are, being more aware about our food and how we eat. It helps us to prevent ourselves from binge eating. We can control our food intake better. We can understand our bodies better. And we can actually enjoy our food or our meals. And most of all, we can absorb our nutrients better and we have less cravings. So mindful eating helps us with all these. So something about eating that we have to know also is that part of having a healthy relationship with food is acknowledging that pleasure and experience are important elements of eating, and that eating can and should be more than just fueling your body for mechanical reasons. You're not just a machine that you have to feed with fuel, right? We're meant to actually enjoy our food. That's why we have taste buds. God gave us taste buds so we can enjoy our food. But how can you enjoy your food if you're rushing to eat all the time, right? A lot of us are guilty with this, like go for drive-throughs or takeout, and you just eat in the car while driving or while commuting. So that's not actually a healthy habit because, for one, you can't really enjoy your food, and definitely it doesn't give your body the best condition to digest your food. So basically, mindful eating is really about slowing down, taking time to eat. So ask yourself, are you a mindful eater? Ask yourself these questions. Do you pay attention to your food, to the smell, the texture, the taste? Of course, when you're at Sugbo Mercado, you do, right? Shout out to Sugbo Mercado. Are you aware of how your food makes you feel? Do you eat slowly, chewing every bite? Do you stop eating when you're full? Are you an emotional eater? Do you multitask when you eat? Do you watch Chloe when you eat, or do you play ML or whatever? Do you play video games when you eat? Do you judge yourself when you accidentally overeat? Do you tend to zone out while eating? It's also the other end of the spectrum. So, are you a mindful eater? Who here can say you're a mindful eater? I am not. I think I've always been a mindful eater. I mean, not completely. There are still ways to improve all the time, but especially when it comes to chewing your food. So the thing about mindful eating is we actually have to be, we're always on our phone, especially these days, Netflix, it's so easy to just, get distracted when we're eating. Yeah, but really we have to think about our meals as the time that our bodies can actually rest and recover from the stress in the middle of the day, especially during lunchtime. It's really important for us to de-stress, take a breather in the middle of the day. And especially when we're about to eat, we're supposed to help our bodies digest by slowing down, lowering our cortisol, our stress levels, our adrenaline. We have to slow down, take the time to rest and slow down. So how can you do this? It's actually a good practice to pray before you eat because it helps you to, pause and be in the moment when you're eating. If you don't pray, if you're not a prayerful person, you can also take deep breaths. You can do this practice before you eat just so you can, condition your body to prepare for digestion. Because a lot of people, they tend to rush when they're eating. They eat within 5 to 10 minutes. So ikaw, diba, if you eat within 5 to 10 minutes, do you think you really tasted your food? Did you really enjoy your food? Of course not, right? So that's why a lot of people suffer from constipation or from bloating or from indigestion because they're always in a hurry. So we really have to slow down, and it's not just about breathing before eating, it's also about chewing our food properly because digestion actually starts in the mouth through our saliva. Our saliva has enzymes to break down the starchy carbs that we eat. So digestion starts in the mouth. So we have to help our digestion, our digestive system by chewing our food properly. And that's at least 25 times per spoonful. So do you think you're doing that? Chewing your food at least 25 times before swallowing? Or are you just swallow, swallow, swallow? Right. So that's definitely something that I had to work on as well when I found out about that. And of course, if you can't achieve 25 chews per spoonful right there and then, you can start with just 10 times or 15 times and you'll find that kaya naman di ay, no? Or kaya naman pala. But it actually also takes our brain 20 minutes to process that we're actually full already. That's why we need to take time to eat. Right? And chew our food properly so we can support our digestion process. And definitely digestion is important because that is also how our body absorbs the nutrients that we need. Right, so what are mindful eating practices? You have to sit down, do not multitask. Okay, your food needs your attention too. How can you enjoy your food and how can food be good for you if you're not actually paying attention? You don't know you're already eating a fly that's in your food because you're not paying attention, right? You don't want to you don't want to experience that. So make sure to pay attention to your food. For some reason, I'm the kind of person who ends up finding stuff in her food because I pay so much attention to my food. It almost feels like somebody's always out there to prank me with my food. Na I always find something in it. I won't mention na lang the restaurants I've been to, but yeah, we have to pay, basically we have to pay attention to our food. So take your time, chew more, pay attention to the taste, smell, texture, etc. of your food. Eat with someone. Again, this is social connection. Food is connection. So we have to eat with someone. But it's okay also if you eat alone, as long as you just pay attention to your food and how your body feels with it. And this is also our time to manage stress and emotions. It's our time to breathe in the middle of the day. So now that you know how to eat, I also just want to emphasize lastly on what is this fitness formula. Okay, so usually when people want to get healthy or especially to lose weight, what do you do? What do you do, guys? Train and diet. Wow. Exercise, diet, eat on a calorie deficit. Weight loss is life. Workout, crash diet. Yeah, so it's your answers are either or both diet or exercise, right? So is it diet or exercise? So it's actually diet and exercise. We can't actually do one without the other. But I know some of you might be familiar with the formula, na, you know, it's a healthy weight or healthy lifestyle is 70% diet, 30% exercise. And that's also true. So even if diet has a bigger role in the fitness formula, both of them are still important together. So exercise, just want to talk a bit about exercise. It's any activity requiring physical effort. So that's anything outside of our usual routine, daily routine. It's carried out to sustain or improve health and fitness. So what do you do for exercise? So for every 10 pounds of extra body weight you lose, this is especially for people who are extra overweight, no, it actually removes 50 pounds of pressure off your hips and knees. right? So something significant about this is it's actually helpful for people with arthritis, okay, because of the fact that it helps remove extra weight off your joints. So exercise is really important, actually not just for weight loss, but for your overall health. So what's the difference between a sedentary person or an inactive person versus a person who exercises regularly? Definitely, a person who exercises regularly gets better sleep quality. They actually tend to, get better sleep quality, and their average resting heart rate is also lower, meaning they are able to cope up better with stress, and they have more oxygen in their bodies. The people who are active definitely need more calories because they're burning more calories as well. The life expectancy is longer, and sweating is definitely a form of detox, right? So this is the natural detox process of our body, so that's why it's also important to sweat. So sauna it's not for weight loss. You can lose weight from losing water in your body, but you'll just gain it back. But mainly it's just to promote sweating, so you can detox or, remove waste from your body. But exercise is different and it's better. So again, we need both nutrition and exercise for our overall health. And both of them play a role better together. They're better together. So this is our power couple, diet and exercise, or nutrition and exercise, because it gives us a happier mood, better disposition in life. So definitely this is something we need during this time, diba? It helps to decrease fat storage and helps with weight management. It helps to normalize our blood pressure and cholesterol levels. There is decreased systemic inflammation, and definitely it reduces our risk of developing lifestyle diseases or chronic diseases. And definitely we have more energy and strength and resilience for our activities or situations in life. So definitely, nutrition and exercise have to go together if we want good overall health and well-being. So for exercise, the recommendation is to do moderate intensity exercise for at least 20 minutes, 5 days a week. So this is the minimum recommendation. So what is moderate intensity exercise? Definitely it's not your HIIT, right? So it can be, again, exercise is anything that makes you exert effort more than your usual daily routine. So even in my case, like for the days that I don't get to exercise, I really find ways to move. Like I take the stairs. When I used to be in the office, I would take the stairs whenever it's just 1 or 2 floors up or down, especially when it's going down. The stairs, I always take the stairs. So basically, we just really need to find ways to move, even if we're just confined in our house for more than a month now, and maybe even be longer. We really need to be intentional in finding ways to move, because our bodies are meant to move. If we don't move, then we're sedentary, but it's also, we lose muscles when we don't move, and our metabolism is slower when we don't move. And our mood is better when we're also exercising. So this is definitely a great way to battle anxiety and depression. So I want to leave you guys with this. I want to promote, building healthy habits, not restrictions. I hope you notice that I don't really say bawal bawal or no to this, no to that. Of course, there are exceptions, but basically I really want us to focus more on what we can do, or the things that we need to do for ourselves. So build healthy habits, not restrictions. And another thing to think about, people are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, and are treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food, because our health industry is very pharmaceutical industry driven as well. So again, we don't want to rely on medication. We have the power to keep ourselves in good health. So it's really a matter of our food choices. If we make the right food choices, then food is medicine for us. No, it's not poison. So in summary, our diet is killing us. Diet is the #1 risk factor for premature death, and it's one of the and yet, ironically, it's one of the most controllable factors. So again, it's your choice. Food can either be cure or poison. So food is not only energy, it's also information, connection, and medicine. So food is so powerful. It's our key to creating good health for ourselves. So we have a choice, and the most important decisions we make are made with our fork. Eat the rainbow. Remember to have a variety of fruits and vegetables every day to get a diverse profile of nutrients in your diet. So these are the best kinds of food that we can get and what we really need right now. So we don't wait until we get COVID-19, until we get the virus, and that's when we take care of our health. We do it now so we can prevent ourselves from getting sick. And remember the 4 main principles of a healthy diet. It's MOVABA, moderation, variety, balance, and adequacy. And mindful eating is basically to slow down, stop and smell the flowers, take your meal times as opportunities to rest and recover from stress in the middle of the day. And to achieve a healthy weight or our fitness goals, we need both diet and exercise. You can't do one without the other, and with that, you can't outrun a bad diet. So a healthy, balanced diet and exercise are both required to achieve and maintain optimal health and body composition. So what you fuel and nourish yourself with is tremendously more important than how much calories you burn. And we only die once. So our food choices are impactful not only on our own health, but for the next generations as well. So eat smart, choose wisely, and invest in your health. So I'd also like for us to realize that the food choices we make now really determine our future and even for the next generation. So eating healthy is really more than just a responsibility for ourselves. It's really also for the next generation because we need to set them up with good genes, so we can set them up for good health. So that's actually the best legacy we can leave behind. It's not riches, it's not properties, it's not money, but it's actually good health that we can leave behind for the next generation by giving them good genes, by making good food choices. So thank you so much for listening tonight. I hope I didn't bore you guys. I know I took quite a long time to finish, but you guys can find me on Facebook. My name is Justinne Lou Go there. You can find me on IG, YouTube. I'm trying to put out a vlog every Saturday. So I'll be posting a second episode tomorrow on my YouTube channel. So thank you once again. And I hope you guys learned about how nutrition is really important. It's really a survival skill for all of us.